We never found out what that sequence, that title sequence meant.
I know.
Is that supposed to be a signal to, Well, folks, we're here for our, let's call it our third season finale, even though we'll probably do 1 or 2 more episodes over the summer. But yeah, it's our finale. And it's appropriate that this is our finale because we're discussing finales today. In fact, I would go so far as to call this a finale fiesta.
Yeah, nice.
I almost brought like chips and salsa instead of popcorn.
Well, that's why we're live on location from the Oceanic 815 crash site.
Exactly.
Here on the beach. They just left the wreckage, even though they all left the island.
It was tough getting that shipped in here to the studio. We had to knock out part of the wall there.
Lay down some sand.
We had that great, there's a great place in Hillsboro with a little hill there. By the way, later in the show we're going to do our usual cheesy movie screening.
That's true.
And seeing that movie reminded me that, they've shot that in Hawaii, and it does it looked like when they came on the beach, I'm like, holy crap, that does look like a scene out of Lost.
Yeah.
I just wonder if like everywhere you go in Hawaii, you see just, beautiful mountains in the background or just...
I was there in March. And
okay.
Yes,
it looks like
awesome.
That. Sweet.
But
unless your view is marred by a plane crash.
Yeah.
By the way,
stick around for that movie. What's it called again? I honestly don't remember the title.
She-Gods of Shark Reef.
That's right.
See, they're kind of playing on the idea that there's some kind of... They say there's a shark god, but the real god, the she-gods, are the women there. They rule the place.
All women.
Except they're pretty easily told what to do.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later, but lost.
The TV event of the century.
It's over. 2.5 hours, or probably without commercials, an hour and a half.
Probably.
90 minutes.
They made it seem like, and obviously, spoiler alert, if you're one of those weirdos who DVRs that watches it 3 months later, you might want to turn the channel.
Put your hand over your ears for the rest of the episode, until Matt disappears.
Right. Because we're going to talk about 24 later, at least him and Jim will. But, they made it seem like in the finale they were going to get to some action real quick. I'm like, oh, this is only half hour into it. They're already going to the light in the well. But then they dragged that out for the whole thing, basically, or most of it. I guess not the whole thing. I'm cool if you want to end it with Jack dying and the whole other reality is really his purgatory, then fine. But explain some of the other mysteries and do a better job. That's my beef. They didn't explain enough. There's still too many unanswered questions in my mind.
Same here, and it's like, why do you even need 2.5 hours to do what they did? If they'd done the sentimental, syrupy, and by the way, that is my judgment, is that they just decided to go for, after they copped out. They either they didn't have ideas or they thought, we can't get bogged down in throwing a bunch of answers at people. And believe me, I've seen scenes where, on a different show that J.J. Abrams created, the show Alias, and that was a show too that had a really long, what they call a mythology arc, where you keep going back to that story, and then you have little self-contained stories, but you keep going. The overall mystery of the island was the mythology arc. And there was a scene on Alias once where there was a character. It was actually played by the guy who plays Locke.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Terry something.
Terry O'Quinn, right. Yeah. And there was a scene where he's on a plane talking to Sidney Bristow for it seemed like a half hour of the episode was him explaining things. And so he was like Mr. Exposition guy. But at least you had some answers, and it wasn't the final episode, I don't think. But I can see how people think, or the scene in The Matrix where he talks to the architect or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes those scenes seem a little hokey, but we don't, they don't have to go on for a half hour or even 10. You could have just a 5-minute kind of recapping of, what I thought it could happen is once again, they take another trek through the jungle to go to this light. And I'm like, why not, have Hurley or somebody say, dude, since we're all going to probably die, talking to the Locke guy, fake Locke, maybe you could just tell us what's going on with this whole island thing.
Yeah.
It would be a little comic moment, and it would allow him to then kind of just say, well, as far as I know, this island, blah, 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 some battery sort, whatever the hell is up with it. Just say something about what the light is. And I read something where one of the creators said, well, we don't want to get into a metachlorian moment, meaning, we don't want to quantify the force like they did in episode 1 of The Phantom Menace and call it little metachlorians in the blood or whatever. You don't have to be stupid like that, but just say something. On X-Files, they didn't always nail it down for you. Here's exactly what happened in this episode or what the thing was. but they threw out a theory, or they threw out a couple of theories, and then they said, you can decide. This was sort of like, imagine whatever you, this is like The Sopranos, go to black, except they faded to white, and they basically said, imagine how whatever you want at the end. I'm like, no, I didn't watch the show for 6 years to come up with my own ending. I mean, I could have imagined it from day one and not watched it from 6 years of it.
No, I mean, they're overly vague with all the explanations, and you're right, I think it's a kind of a cop-out to not explain what exactly is the light.
Yeah.
What exactly, why...
There's the cork in the light.
Yeah.
Some kind of stone cork.
And where are they talking about the evil, the island is a cork that keeps hell... I mean, so what, is that the gateway to hell down there? Because when he took the stone out, it started turning all red and lava looked like there was lava down there? Is that right?
Yeah, well, no, the funny thing is, I had said that one time, and I brought this up on our show before, that there's this guy, Richard Alpert, the dude who looks like he's wearing mascara, but he's not. It's real, as they showed on Jimmy Kimmel afterwards. But he once told Hurley, in order to get a proof that he was actually seeing Jacob, or the ghost of Jacob, he said, well, okay, if you're really seeing Jacob, ask him what the island is. And Hurley's, kind of hemmed and hawed. He's like, come on, Jacob once told me what the island really is. So, and we were talking, on the phone the other day, and I said, well, they never answered what the island really is. And you reminded me that they actually did say that thing about how imagine the island is like this wine bottle, and the cork, I guess, would be the cosmic. I mean, it looked like a real cork, something like a stone cork. And you said something about, that I guess Jacob told his brother that it's keeping all the evil out, and like how you pointed out, there's still evil in the world. So that cork doesn't have a good seal on it.
Plenty
apparently.
of evil on the island and in the world.
Need to put a little some kind of grout or something around the cork to seal out the Al Qaeda and the oil spills and all that kind of evil. Anyway. So,
and it kind of makes me feel good that you also have a beef with this, because my friend and I watching it, we're like, are we dumb after it's over? But like, this guy's an English professor. He analyzes some pretty intense literature. So if you didn't know what the hell is going on, then.
And I was trained in the X-Files school of reading articles about stuff, analyzing all kinds of stuff, and really, what I found and I'm sure somebody out there has written an article like this where you just go. Somebody once went over X-Files really in detail, and they wrote like a 5 or 10 page article on it. My thing might have been for Entertainment Weekly. And I was like, this actually explains what I've been watching, and this all kind of makes sense. And they made the show sound coherent. And I'm guessing somebody could probably do that with Lost, although there were just some things you'd really have to get fanciful and imagine what's going on. Like we were talking about the other day, the numbers. Hurley has this fixation on a certain set of numbers. It's the numbers he uses to win the lottery.
Right. Numbers that were originally broadcast from the island. Because remember, he said how he learned them. There was some guy who was in the Navy who heard these numbers over the Navy broadcast, and he kept repeating them over and over, so Hurley bet the lottery with them, wins the lottery, and they're on the hatch, and they're the numbers they typed into the computer in the hatch. So wouldn't you think they'd explain that connection? Are we just supposed to believe it's some kind of coincidence? And each of those numbers as well was attached to one of the candidates in the cave.
Right.
Well, let's explain why all that is.
Yeah.
Can we do that? I mean, is that too much to ask?
It seemed to have a real world, totally makes sense kind of thing as far as what the numbers are when they said, basically, there was in the hatch or under the hatch, there was some kind of slightly destabilized pocket of electromagnetism, and you typed in the numbers into this computer, and presumably it wasn't just the computer, but some larger mechanism then kind of did some kind of release valve thing to keep the electromagnetism from exploding or blowing up the island or whatever. So, but that's just a normal set of numbers then. It's like a combination to a lock. I mean, what are we saying here? That somehow it's like some kind of spiritual sequence of numbers that kept the machinery that worked with the I mean, I guess they didn't really, to me, explain what is electromagnetism and can it really do anything weird or spooky? Like, I thought that was just a normal thing in science. I've never heard, Albert Einstein's theory of how electromagnetism can make polar bears appear or something like that. I don't know, they brought the polar bears in, but it's sort of like, it's like, I was sort of figuring in my mind that maybe the whole idea was that like Jacob was sort of orchestrating everything and he somehow had the numbers, like he created this really convoluted sequence of events to somehow get Hurley to fear the numbers. So at that crucial moment when Hurley sees the numbers on the hatch, he says, oh, the numbers are bad, let's run away, run away. Yeah. And that the whole design was to keep that hatch from blowing up and to make people not go near it. But again,
But it didn't work if that.
Hey, if that was the whole plan, it's like, damn, that's a really convoluted plan, and it didn't work.
Or, again, the hatch is what made them crash, because when he didn't enter the numbers that one day, it shot that out, broke the plane apart. So
Jacob
maybe
brought
each of those numbers not being typed in drew them to the island.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, that's what numerology I have a real problem. I should have known once they started screwing around with that. I rarely read a story or see a movie where it's based on some weird sequence of magic numbers where it actually makes sense. And it's just like, they're magic, deal with it.
I mean, that's my thing. If they were originally being broadcast from the island, and supposedly the French woman came in and changed the broadcast to her distress signal at some point in time, which is fine, but if they were originally broadcast from the island on some radio tower, address who put them there in the first place and what they mean.
Right.
Okay, another thing, and I made even a list. Okay, another thing, the nuke, the nuclear bomb which went off, which Juliet
at the end
exploded.
of last season.
Right. Which supposedly we thought at the time created an alternate reality that destroyed the island, and therefore they never crashed. Well, that's not the case, because now we know that was just purgatory, that alternate flash sideways, not an alternate reality. So A, why was the island at the bottom of the ocean in that? And B, what did the nuke do? Did it kill all of them then? I mean, was he really dead? But everything that happened to him was real, so says his father in that sequence. So we're led to believe that the nuke really did send them back to the present, and then everything happened until he died. Well, that makes no sense to me. So what happened after the nuke went off, and how was the hatch built? When did they build it? When did they put the computer in? When did they seal it up? How did they keep the guy down there, and tricking him to think that there's a disease outside? Couldn't we had an episode or two on that, after it all happened, or at least wrap that up before they ended the previous season?
That's for the DVD. And see, that's another thing I have a problem with. I mean, I really get a sense that I've heard something to the effect that there's going to be like some kind of 20 minutes of Q&A or some kind of further commentary from them, or maybe they'll just do director's commentary, but that they were going to provide more detailed answers in the DVD. Now, see, that's BS. You do not do 120 whatever hours of TV and say, and you can find out the rest if you rent or purchase.
If you purchase the $500 Blu-ray collector's edition or something, We'll have a little replica of the hatch with it. I mean,
it would be funny if they put out like a whole book of answers. They probably could fill a whole book with at least. But here's the thing. Here's the big question. Do they even have a reason for why they did some of the stuff they did?
don't think they did.
No, I don't either.
I mean, let's remember 2 or 3 years ago, or maybe a year or two after the show came out, there were already theories on the internet that it was all purgatory.
Right.
Well, it kind of was. I mean, that was part of the plot. So my theory is someone figured it out 3-4 years ago, and they're like, what do we do?
Exactly. I was talking to Trish about it today, and I was like, maybe somebody just tagged it almost immediately what their whole premise was.
Yeah.
I even thought about things like, supposedly Matthew Shepard knew from the beginning that the final image of the show was going to be him lying down in the field and having his eye closed.
Which doesn't take a genius, I think, to make that connection.
I know. And once I saw him marching out to the field, I certainly began to say, here's what's going to happen. And I even knew the dog was coming, man. I was like, I remember. Vincent. I like Jimmy Kimmel's line last night about how, a couple hours later, Vincent's going to start eating. But, I thought maybe the ending was supposed to be a sort of Pirates of the Caribbean thing where, here's Jack stuck on the island looking off to Kate or whatever. I'm like, they probably saw Pirates and we can't do that. We were going to have to kill him, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he was obvious. They were playing with some kind of Christian mythology with his father, and all that. And so I think, he was sort of destined to be a kind of Christ-like figure. I was even reading something today suggesting that he really died in the cave or something like, whatever.
I guess, again, what was funny, too, on the after show, the Jimmy Kimmel Live,
right,
the point where Jimmy Kimmel was like, they showed the scene, I guess it was the first episode of this season, right, where they're in the plane. Jack, you think it's going to blow up like it did in the very first pilot episode, and it doesn't.
Right.
And he says, Jimmy Kimmel says something like, I think that's the point where Jack really dies. And then Matthew Fox is like, yeah, you can tell he doesn't have any hell of an idea either. None of them do.
Well, at that point, I wanted to go, what do you mean, Jimmy? He had a seizure? He had a stroke right there in the airplane?
Exactly. I don't get that.
He looks like a pretty healthy guy.
Or maybe that was the point to where the plane blew up, and it's one of those things where he still thinks he's alive, even though he's dead. Your brain still plays out this whole sequence of events before you're really gone.
Hey, check this out. Here's something funny. and I've read, I haven't read a lot, but I went ahead and got on the internet and read some reviews. It's depressing how most people don't agree with us. I think it's probably something like at least 75% of the viewers think it was a pretty solid ending, and they were happy with it. And there's a pretty vocal 25% though, or roughly.
Yeah.
But one of the things I learned today was that the final image we actually saw during the credits was of a plane crash, and I was like, "Oh my God, is that the plane that just flew off? Did it like immediately fall out of the sky? Then is it a flight Ajira, whatever?" And then I thought, well, no, it's probably they're showing the original plane wreckage, and I'm like, was there a fire? I
don't think so.
I was like, well, is this just they never moved the wreckage out of the way? But then again, I don't remember seeing that wreckage there the whole season.
Right, I think they did move it. So that's what I was thinking at the same thing. Is that just a plane crash and they're all dead?
Are they showing that? Yeah, but here's the funny thing. Yeah. No, what turns out is that ABC put that final imagery in there. Like the creators just had it end with Jack closing his eye, Vince or whatever. But ABC thought it would be too hard of a transition to go right from that to the news. So during the credit sequence, they kind of did a little, remember the crash sort of thing. And I was even reading somebody saying that they saw one set of footprints leaving the plane crash, so it meant that only Jack survived and the whole thing was his dream or his test. Jimmy said it was sort of like
test, right.
But I don't know, that's the thing. It's like, that's what you get when you do, you get people, apparently that's what they wanted. Just keep saying your BS theories, or maybe we'll do other novels and comic books, and they just want to keep milking this thing, I think. And
the way they try to all justify it is, well, we didn't answer all the questions, but the people who were really into the show were into it because of the characters. And you really found out a lot about those characters, and even in the last episode in the Purgatory, you found out even more about those characters. That's all fine and good, and I do like the characters, but explain the damn mysteries too. Come on. That show was, to me, as much about the mysteries as it was about the characters, and don't try to tell me otherwise.
And where is this whole thing of saying that you can only do one thing or the other?
Right.
You can only do a totally character-driven thing. Then you're saying you're just going to do some kind of high-class soap opera if all you want to do is show who made it, who ended up with who, and who got to hug who at the end. I heard Battlestar Galactica do the same kind of thing when they were coming close to their end, and it was sort of clear that they had a lot of big final mystery to reveal there. They, the creators of the show kept saying, hey, it's really more about the character arcs and about whether so-and-so's reconciled. I'm like, yeah, that's part of it, but I tend to watch these shows more for the mystery. The characters, frankly, I wasn't highly impressed. Yeah. There was some good acting, and I think there were times when I probably rooted for Jack. There was certainly, I remember the thing I felt the most about the characters was when they were captured, the Lost People were captured by the others. I really started to hate the others. Because basically they're just like, they're in Guantanamo Bay there or whatever. And even Juliet, I hated her. And I'm like, they sort of made me forget about her eventually, how she was such a, just whatever. But, she was in her own kind of thing. But I think this is really just to show that it survived on great production values, pretty good acting, and at least decent characters, and having a diverse cast. It's something, having a cast that big for one was something I guess we hadn't really seen before. But ultimately, I think it was a very failed experiment.
And for a show that was so popular and did have the great production values, why the heck, and we've discussed this, could they not at least show us one scene of Locke turning into the smoke monster? Instead of having it fly through and go away and then he walks around the side of the building. Cop out.
That's what you do if you don't have a budget.
Yeah, their studio, my front buddy in Tampa Bay is doing stuff that's pretty cool on After Effects. You telling me you couldn't have done a scene with that?
Oh, well, yeah.
BS.
We know they could.
Well, why not? Why though? Why not? That made me mad.
That is a good question.
And that and explaining exactly what he was and why sending him down the well turned him into that. Because nothing happened to Jack when he went down there.
Nothing happened to Desmond.
Yeah.
Of course, Desmond had a high tolerance for electromagnetic.
And Jack was a candidate, so is that why?
No, because his mom even said to him, "Don't ever go down there because you're going to turn into something bad's going to happen to you."
And this is real nitpicky, but at first you assume the water takes him down and he falls into the light, but really it doesn't because the waterfall ends. You have to walk down into it. So what happened? You know, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
his body just fell down. He was knocked out, so it just fell down, broke his neck, and then rolled into the pool. I mean, what?
That's a good point, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, Jacob would have to just like throw him down there like Superman style for him to get down there that quickly. And oh man.
But that's, I mean, again, that's something that I wish they would have been a little more specific about. Obviously, the light, and why did it turn him into whatever he was? Was that because was that his evil soul flying around? I don't know.
I mean,
It just doesn't make sense, people.
the noises get to me. I mean,
yeah. Another thing, why does it sound like a roller coaster and a steam whistle? Yeah, is it an old train?
Like some kind of bug zapper.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
It's like, again, is this your idea of what scares people?
Yeah.
I mean, the dinosaur howl, okay, that's scary, but
Yeah.
the only thing I came up with on that was like maybe he wanted to kind of distract people from thinking about like what he truly was, that he was a person.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he learned over the years how to try to manipulate people. Like his first impulse was just apparently to go start killing people when they showed up, but eventually he sort of wanted to use them in his plot to somehow kill Jacob. And so I think part of the plot was that he needed to create some more mystery around himself. And I think there's even the idea that maybe when they go to see Jacob at the cabin, that it's really the smoke monster there kind of doing some kind of non-corporeal. Remember when Jack and Ben went to the cabin or whatever, like screwing with them somehow?
Right.
That again, like maybe, because at one point I think they said something about how it was a security system.
Right.
So maybe
that's a French woman said
maybe
that.
that was the reason for the weird sounds or the mechanical sounds.
Well, we do know, like, when, he went and got Claire in the form of her father, and he was the father at the beginning too with Jack. So he can appear.
He can appear as dead people
who are on the island, or who died on the island, or whose his dad's body was there. So
a lot of people I've seen are still wondering about Walt, and like I get give a crap lesson.
Walt hit puberty, and they had to write him out. I mean, that's honestly what happened.
That's what. But then he would occasionally reappear on the island, like those,
that made no sense either.
One time, again, I think it was probably Smokey there, but
why? I don't get what is he.
One time he got Claire killed by appearing to her at that crucial moment. So it seems.
Oh, you mean?
Not did I say Claire? Is her name
Shannon?
Shannon, right? Yeah.
Right, because that one was weird. I remember too, because Walt. Not only was it Walt, but there was like water pouring all over. Do you remember that? What was up with that? I never explained that either.
I guess maybe the idea was that he was trying to simulate someone who'd like drowned at sea. And by the way, he didn't die, so how could the guy appear as Walt? I mean, Walt made it to the. Walt's still alive at the end.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that's something that they played on too, was saying that Walt could. Because they asked about, did you ever notice any strange characteristics with this boy? Because they were talking about like projection, like he could project his image from another location. So, but they never, again, loose end, they never tied up.
Just stepped out of the shower.
Yeah.
Of course, they couldn't have Walt appear on the finale because he now bears a striking resemblance to Kobe Bryant. He's a little taller than Kobe.
Walt's playing for the Magic.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they have any foresight there? Like, what was your plan? You were going to try to kill the kid off at some point? You knew he was a little kid and he was going to have somebody, didn't Jimmy say something like he should have started him smoking or whatever? Yeah. Or get Gary Coleman to do it.
Gary Coleman.
So, was there anything else on the list?
I'm sure there are actually things I'm forgetting about, but those were the main ones that I was disappointed that they didn't provide a more specific explanation.
I'm sure we're supposed to just sort of infer or whatever that the light was some kind of like, I don't know, God energy or God force or whatever.
Yeah,
that maybe...
I've heard it referred to. I read a few columns the day after, and one of those writers referred to it as the Well of Souls.
Oh!
So I don't know where he got that.
That sounds like something I've heard of before, like in some kind of mythology or something like that. But I never heard of like what the Well of Souls actually does. Or
so is it people's soul just a? Because I mean that too is so vague when they say this is everything people desire and that makes them happy. Like that's what it is. So
that's what the commentators were saying.
No, that's what the woman said to Jacob. It was something like that. I mean, it was something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what she said.
She did say something about how it was something connected to the souls of all people, but. Again, that would to me just mean, and maybe it goes back to the namaste thing, which I think means something like, I bow to the divinity within you, or something that again, some kind of energy which, I mean, there's theories of God, that God is just some energy which links all of us, and so that if you
collective unconsciousness,
if you put out this energy, if you snuff out that energy, then the the world kind of, I don't know why it would affect the earthquakes and stuff like that. I mean, just,
maybe that's it. That does seem to make sense. I think you just figured it out, Tom.
I totally nailed it. So I don't know. It's reminiscent to me of when you said that thing about how they actually did explain that the court thing, that it was sort of keeping all the evil. I mean, to me, there's been other stories that are similar to this, and I don't know. Maybe it's maybe we're anticipating something, because they're now speculating more and more about other universes and stuff. I mean, when they had that Hadron Collider thing, I think that was sort of an experiment that maybe you could, from that, sort of somehow see if there's another universe near. I don't know, but the stories that I've been reading, like Dark Tower and even the Buffy finale, has suggested that there is a problem where different universes could collide. In Buffy, it was sort of there was this thing called the key that would open up all the dimensions, and that they could. What's that?
And Fringe is doing the same thing.
And what?
Fringe, with the two universes.
Oh, Fringe, right? Yeah, same kind of thing. If they collide or cross over, there could be dire effects on it. On Buffy, of course, it was the idea was that demons were going to come flying in from a hell dimension or something like that. Dark Tower, similar kind of thing. Stephen King, where the tower keeps everything in place, all the various universes, and if the tower falls, then again, chaos, things just kind of spill from one to the other. So maybe it was that. Maybe it was the God energy. If you put it out, then again, in come the demons and the real evil. We think we know evil, but I don't know. They're going to be smoke monsters everywhere, dude. You think that oil spill? We were talking about how that oil spill totally looks like a underwater smoke monster.
That was probably it. The island is the cork in the oil. Well,
that's it. You need Desmond to float down there and stick a giant. They're actually going to do that now. They're going to shoot some mud or cement as we're talking. I think today they're going to try something like that. Oh man, that is unbelievable. I mean, that SNL they had the best line, and I don't even know if did they try the thing with the golf balls and the.
I don't think they've tried it yet. They were trying to do something else before that. I think that was the last resort.
And Seth Meyers had a great line about how he's because you know what works. He's what works better than using. What works better than golf balls when you're trying to seal a giant hole? Almost anything.
That's where Jim will be by in a few minutes to talk about 24 finale. That's where Bauer went. He's going to swim to the bottom of the ocean and plug up the oil well.
I think Jim was suggesting someplace like Chechnya or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you can email us your thoughts on the Lost finale or anything at popcorndudes@hotmail.com. We'd love to hear your theories.
Sure, yeah. If you got some
lost.
cool theories.
I'm lost.
I mean,
maybe that's it. Lost. You're gonna be lost after you follow this show for 6 seasons.
It's right there in the title. You're never supposed to figure it out.
I should have known.
Well, I mean, The problem is that they added in. I think they just added in too much stuff. I mean, the Dharma Initiative, that whole thing, and they didn't. I don't even think they mentioned
something else. I remembered, and I thought about this the other day. Remember, it was maybe season 2 or 3, how they had during the episodes of Lost, they'd show fake commercials for the Hanzo Foundation and all that, and they had this website and this phone number you could call, and you thought this would be a big part in explaining a lot of the mysteries. Nothing to do with anything, never mentioned again.
Really?
I mean, I don't remember.
Yeah. I never participated in any of that.
No, I mean, I went and looked at the website and I called the number once just to see, and they had it was an automated line. You could press different keys to get to different departments, and then you'd press one and they'd be the recording would be saying something, and then all of a sudden there'd be some interference and someone would cut in saying they're doing testing on animals and this and all this weird scientific stuff. So it was just to pique interest at the time and get people into the show. I mean, again, the Hanzo guy was never mentioned in the show once. I mean, they may have mentioned him once, but I don't think
once or twice,
but that was it. I mean, it wasn't like it ever came back to him or anything like that. But I guess supposedly he was involved with Charles Widmore.
That's for the comic book.
Yeah, exactly.
Alvar Hanzo, the early years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I read some kind of. I was actually watching that little 2-hour, whatever you call it.
Oh yeah, the
self-congratulatory. Everyone loves us. We're not going to have any negative mail in this. And then we're going to do the same recap we've been doing forever, even though it's not going to pay off. But At one point, one of the creators said something about how they put in a lot of references to stuff they like Stephen King, or they didn't. He's like, if one of the writers is really into the philosophy of John Locke, well, we name. I mean, that sounds like the thinking that went into these things. Like, sure, we've got this overall big mystery, and we know people are going to obsess over names that are like the names of real people in real, like John Locke, famous. But we're not going to have it mean anything. We're just going to do it because somebody on the show likes it. It's like the Coen brothers saying, let's just throw stuff in there because that's what we want to see on the screen. I mean, if it makes sense, fine. But if every character you have, now I'll get granted. I think Christian Shepherd, they pretty much dinged us on the head with that he was like God the Father or something. There's some kind of weird Christian metaphor there. And Jack Shepherd. I mean, Jack seems like the hero of every. Jack Bauer, Jack. Yeah. But so I don't really think it means anything though. The character's name, John Locke. I mean, except for unless it's like just a guy of faith or whatever. I don't even know
I think that was it.
The philosophy of John Locke, and there's other. Daniel Faraday, I think he was some kind of science guy or whatever. So
the physicist.
It's like me, if I named a character Albert Einstein, people would think that's kind of goofy. I guess they picked some people who are just like not quite as famous as others, but the only part I really, really liked was where Kate shot it did nothing. I was like, and I tell you, that would have been the cool moment to have him suddenly go smoky on her, right where he is, to suddenly turn into smoke and then appear right in front of her. That would have been so awesome, man.
They blew it. They really blew it.
They really blew it. I mean, it really, to me, it's sort of like basically a screw you almost. And I know
a big middle finger.
Yeah. I know they think they were going sort of the other way, that they didn't want to do the Sopranos kind of screw you ending, which a lot of people, but so they wanted to do the whole, let's make sure we reward people with, warm, fuzzy feeling and lots of that special loss, which of course was totally marred, even if you like that music, by KDNL's presentation.
Oh yeah, the audio. Good job.
Lord, what happened?
I don't know. It was
sounded like
awful.
a record skipping throughout the whole 2.5 hours almost.
Yeah.
And it was worse in the music. The music was just. I had to turn down the volume. I couldn't listen to that music with the.
Yeah, that was irritating.
Good job, KDNL.
Nice.
Didn't Tom used to work for them? Back when he was running this shit, working for them, that wouldn't happen.
Well,
I think we dissected it well enough.
Yeah, or at least complained about it.
Did you see any other finales of any note?
No. Well, 24.
Yeah.
And then all the finales on the Thursday night comedies on NBC, which.
Were they any good?
Yeah, they were okay. I mean, they had some cliffhangers. Well, not really, but.
They had the series finale of Law and Order.
Oh my God. I missed that. Did Ice-T get shot?
He's on the one that's going to keep going.
Oh,
SVU.
come on.
SVU.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But
they're going to replace it with Law and Order LA. So.
Yeah, that's the most bizarre thing. Yeah. It's like you finally kill off this thing that's lingered for 20 years, and let's face it, out of those 20 years, I mean, okay, maybe five good years somewhere in there, and I'll still watch something like that on USA or whatever they repeated on TNT, but come on, I mean, and they didn't. I guess they might have found out really late in the game. Same thing with like Ghost Whisperer.
I think
they ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And it's like, oops, sorry people, you're screwed.
I think that I heard the TV critic from the Post. They interviewed her on the radio, and she said something to that effect, to where they didn't know when they finished that script.
Jennifer Love Hewitt said that.
No, for Law and Order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with Law and Order, it's sort of like one of those shows. It's never been about.
Yeah. She said though, some of those characters will make appearances in Law and Order LA, and they'll try to wrap up their storylines once they start Law and Order.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not that those characters are going to move out to LA, but they'll go back. They'll have some kind of plot, tie-in where they talk to them in New York or whatever.
I was really wanting to know what happened to.
The DA, the guy who does those like financial commercials. He just appears in your kitchen, like you're reading the paper all of a sudden.
Is that what you mean, the new guy? Oh, Sam Waterston. Yeah.
I don't know his name.
His character arc is finally figuring out what's up with his eyebrow. Yeah. He finally gets some eyebrow reduction surgery. Yeah, I mean, they had. The funny thing is that I watched it, and the overall dramatic arc, and the thing that sort of would have been a decent coda for the series, was that Lieutenant Van Buren had some kind of possibly, she had cancer.
Yeah.
And I think the episode ended with her getting a call from her doctor, and she's getting the results, and she doesn't do one of those automatic, oh, thank you, doctor, which anybody would do if they were. So that's what makes you think, well, maybe. And right at the point, she says a crucial line of dialogue, something about how, I think she's saying, I'm going to go on, or I can make it, or something like that. And there was suddenly a glitch in the dialogue, one of those little digital blips sometimes, to where it kind of like sped up, and you couldn't quite tell what she was saying. Like, what? The only thing that could be worse, and that could totally happen, is suddenly somebody like Dave Murray cuts in with, "We'll get you back to that."
There's an isolated thunderstorm in Shiloh, Illinois. It's one to keep an eye on. Like, I hate it when they do that. Like, are these people even watching? I mean, these people live 2 hours away. They're,
Again, I've said this before, but I mean, the millions of dollars, millions, I mean, not joking here, millions of dollars plugged into producing a TV show, showing a gazillion commercials on the actual channel to get you to watch the show. And somehow you actually, your busy day, whatever, you put aside an hour or two to be entertained and diverted. And here you go, like 5 interruptions, with, again, tornado. And guess what? We have text now. I don't even have text. And they called me 3 times on my phone 2 weeks ago. My landline with machine, so I'm really old. And they left messages saying, go to your basement, you're going to die. One of those new things they call like a red, in our area anyway, it's called something like a red code or code red. Yeah, code red. And it's really just a guy, some automated voice going, weather report indicated that there's a tornado in Hillsborough. Go to your basement now. I mean, I love that. Go to your basement now. I mean, no. Well, I kind of got close to my, like it would help. I just sort of sat in a chair near my basement. I wasn't going to go. There's nothing to do in my basement. There's no TV. There's nothing. But we've gotten to the point where we have multiple avenues of communication if we want to know about a storm. And if you must, why not just put that little thing across the screen? Keep it going throughout the show if you want, but let us watch the friggin' TV show, please. Do not don't stop the programming to do that. So that's my beef.
I hear you.
Tim's beef. Well, I think they're actually having a Criminal Minds finale tonight. That's important, right? But yeah, I think that was that was all the other finale. Just 24. We'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
the movie will be coming out soon.
Oh yeah.
They definitely left it open for that, or for a jump to NBC if they still want to work the contract there.
At some point, Jack can sell his body to science to discover his immunity to bullets and
biological weapons.
His healing power or whatever. That he's been stabbed twice. I think he almost had a punctured lung. It was at least bruised or something. And all right, folks, we'll stick around, and coming up next, Jim Watson and I are going to discuss the finale to 24. We might even get into a little house.
Nice.
And later on, we're going to be looking at the she-gods of Shark Reef.
See you soon.
The teacher's doors are always open.
Faculty commitment.
What I like the best is just the overall enthusiasm that the teachers have.
The faculty understands our students.
Jefferson College has a very comprehensive education.
Just being part of Jefferson College is like my second family.
Top quality education.
I'm Rachel Schrage.
I'm Jose Solorian.
I'm Della Selman.
I'm Shayna Payton, and I discovered my future at Jefferson College.
One, two, three.
1 for the money, 2 for the show.
3 to get ready. Now go get it. All right. Well, speaking of who's not going to go anymore, at least not until he gets a movie, Jack Bauer.
Yes, but first we're going to talk about
That's right. Yes, it's a continuation of our finale fiesta here, folks. And the first is the season finale of the show House, which we have I've watched more or less since the beginning. Probably missed 1 or 2 episodes along the way.
I was a newcomer, but thanks to USA's reruns, I've seen almost every episode. I think I've seen.
Probably seen them all by now.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and that was my Monday nights were great in the spring because it was House and then 24, which were my 2 favorite shows. So Monday was my my TV night.
I gotta say, yeah, Monday was. I've been depressed on Monday nights for years because there's just back when I was a kid anyway, because I didn't like watching Monday Night Football. As a
But
kid.
there was years ago. Now I'm dating myself, but
MASH.
no, I Love Lucy,
Oh well.
and then MASH.
Yeah, I didn't like MASH either. So Monday
Really?
I always felt like Monday was just the night where they kind of screwed up on the
All
programming.
right,
But
how can you not like MASH?
you
You basically had,
I was a kid.
Groucho Marx,
I was a kid back then when it was airing, and I didn't.
cigar.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to the house.
Want ice water? Try onions. That'll
Okay.
make your ice water.
Well, it was a good Monday. It was a good Monday nights was a great TV night this season, and House was one of those reasons. We'll get to the other reason later. But so the finale ends with House trying to save some woman trapped under a big steel girder or whatever, and or who knows, a bunch of debris maybe that the girder knocked over. But he leaves her underground, trying to save her leg, buy time to find another way out of there. Then he realizes can't do it, so let's amputate. She dies, though, and then he finds out that there was nothing he could have done. She somehow, after that thing fell on her, it created some kind of problem in her body that she would have died no matter what he did. It was just a question of when.
But the reason that this is key is that his problems all along is he had an accident
Right.
where they had to take out a part of his muscle mass, and they wanted to amputate his leg, and
So he sees himself in this.
he sees himself in this definitely because by taking out muscle mass, he's in constant pain to the point of swallowing Vicodins like most people swallow
Yeah.
M&Ms.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
then he's off the
without
Vicodin.
water. I never see. I can't
Yeah.
take any pill without. And
That and he
just-
he never rattled when he walked. And if you're walking around with pills in your pocket all the time, you're going to be rattling. I've tried that before. Just even putting aspirin or something. I come to work and you're going to rattle. I'm sorry, it's going to happen. Anyway, but he had gotten off the Vicodin because it had become an addiction, and I guess it turns out he didn't even really he could survive without it as long as he could sort of distract himself from the pain. Apparently, the pain's still there. But he can, through working his puzzles, his medical mysteries, or cooking even, or trying to, apparently part of the whole screwing with other people's lives is his way of distracting himself through, like, trying to figure out what's going on in other people's lives.
Right.
That puzzle solving kind of
and
thing.
he is one fascinating character. He's one of
Yeah.
the greatest characters ever that TV created.
And then the other thing that the finale set up is that it suggested that, or at least Cuddy suggested to him, that part of the reason he was pushing it with this patient and not letting her be amputated is because Cuddy suggested it, and he was mad at her for apparently being engaged to her boyfriend Lucas, and he really loved her. So there's a little bit of soap opera element. And in fact, at the end, when the patient dies, House goes back to his house, and you think he's found his secret Vicodin stash, and you think, okay, he's gonna start getting on the drugs again.
Not only that, he takes it. He's elaborate when he hides it. I mean, it's behind the mirror in the wall, so he has to rip that out.
Right. And he's got 2 bottles there, not
Right.
just one.
Right.
And the big surprise of the season is that Cuddy steps in at the last minute and confesses her love for House, says she broke it off with her, fiance, I guess, for about 2 seconds. And they kiss. And the funniest or the best part of that is that they confirmed for us through a little conversation that he wasn't hallucinating, because it was one of those things where, like, if they don't comment on it, then I was going to be thinking the whole summer that, okay, we're going to come back and it's going to be another hallucination, because he's hallucinated before about not only kissing her, but having sex with her and having them, be together in some great love, and it was all a dream kind of episode. So, no, it's real. Here's the big question, though. Can they actually do something with it? Or every show that does this, where they have characters dance around this little sexual tension, and then they get together, most people say that's a recipe for doom.
Well, yeah, when she says she loves him, she says, and I wish I didn't.
Right.
So, I mean, great. That's sort of,
But what we're saying here is that you remove that sexual tension, and then people call it the moonlighting effect, because on the show Moonlighting, that show apparently was really interesting because of the sexual tension between the 2 characters. And when they finally got together as a couple, the show fizzled. It was boring, whatever.
But even better than that was the X-Files. I mean, the X-Files had.
But they
those
never
2
really.
And even after they got married in that dismal movie that they had, they still call themselves by their last names.
They weren't married.
Yeah, but they
living
were
together.
Yeah, and
Well,
they had a child.
The funny thing about that is, they never really had them totally, at least on camera, consummate their show love while the show was going. So they I guess they kept the sexual tension going throughout the series. But so in the movie, they finally have them together when nobody cares anymore. I frankly didn't care. Anyway, we should probably move on to 24. But I thought it was a good finale for House, and it was a nice surprise to give us an upbeat House ending, where they almost always give us a kind of gloomy sort of, House is in worse trouble than ever. He's probably going to be.
And they started out with that. They started out with it looks like he's going to go back to drugs, and then
nice surprise.
Then you go back 8 hours later, and then you go through all this rigmarole.
Now let's try having them be a real couple, though. Let's try be daring and see if you can pull this off. Okay.
Now,
well,
24,
speaking
where
of
it's not so great an ending. Well, it is and it isn't.
What?
The ending.
What about it?
It's upbeat in one way and not in the other.
I'd say, given all the terrible, terrible things that could have happened to Jack Bauer at the end, it was a pretty upbeat ending.
Well, what you would really like is for the president, we should probably give background.
Right. So Jack finds out that some Russians killed his new love of his life.
Really, he got
the love of the last day. Apparently.
The first year that you see him.
Seriously, dude, this courtship went for what, 22 hours or something?
Yeah, but he it was from last season as well, and the time that elapsed.
No, it was
and
really
really, he was trying to get back in the first season with his wife, and there was really, that was just sort of, there wasn't the passion that maybe it's because of.
With his wife?
With his wife, I don't think. He was certainly mad that
they had a more mature relation.
Yeah.
They'd been together for years, and it wasn't like that. But I got to say, Annie Wersching, again, hats off to you, but because she did create a kind of believability that she was just this very vulnerable character, but also she was trying to help Jack on his mission.
She was great.
And she was great. And so, frankly, if I was just had sex with Annie Wersching, and I thought I was going to continue to have sex with Annie Wersching, and then some guy killed her. Oh yeah, I'd go on a killing rampage.
That's exactly what Jack did.
So he kills a bunch of Russian people, and it leads right up to him wanting to assassinate the Russian president, planning to do it
because he found out and he had confirmed that he was behind it.
Being this far away, he's got that little smile on his face, but then in comes Chloe, or she's already in the room, and she convinces him that guess what, Renee wouldn't. Chloe is his longtime friend, worker at CTU, and
who is one of the greatest, another great character.
You've sold me. She's great. You sold me
because she's such a geek, and she can't handle
hardly any
compliments.
social skills.
Yeah, she doesn't have the social skills at all.
Right.
But she can fix anything, and she sees. She starts to think like Jack, and she can see what deception that people do. So
when everybody else can't find him, she can, and she wants to do a kind of one-on-one confrontation. At first, it doesn't seem to work, but then as he's getting ready to shoot the Russian president, she talks him down and says, Renee wouldn't want you start. This is going to start a war, and Renee would
world
not.
War, a nuclear war.
Yeah. Renee would not want you to start a war in her name. So anyway, long story short, they try to expose the conspiracy through a data card. It doesn't work. But the kind of cool thing is that this show doesn't just rely on what Jack does or anything, and what Chloe does. The president had her arc the whole season 2 of her character getting worse and worse and more morally compromised, and finally she just through I guess just so much guilt, or seeing right at the signing ceremony for the peace treaty which she's brokered, and she's done all these terrible things to cover up the Russian conspiracy and everything just to maintain this peace process, but she gets to the point where she's about to sign the treaty, and she sees the special pen that was given to her by the guy who brokered the treaty and then was assassinated, and she decides, no, I can't go through with this, and she basically says, I'm going to surrender myself to the authorities. I'm going to tell everybody about the conspiracy. Now, I would have wondered too, couldn't she then still pardon Jack as part of her last final act?
That was something I had a real problem with.
Yeah.
She realized she's going to remand herself to the authorities, and the ending that I would really like. Well, first of all, the ending I would have liked is for Annie and Renee and he to walk off in the sunset, and then they can solve problems. Because she was sort of the female version of Jack Bauer.
Right.
She was tough, could shoot, and she was a great agent.
Yeah.
And So that's what I really wanted, and so
Me too. Me too.
so I was hugely disappointed when she was
schmaltzy
shot.
enough to say, yeah, I wanted them together at the end, just kissing. Or on Lost they did that. Here's characters together kissing. Whatever. Didn't mean a thing to me. On 24, it really would have meant something.
Oh yeah,
but
because she was such a great character because she was taking risks the way Jack was about 4 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And just with reckless abandon, and she cut a guy's thumb off. She was just brutal. That's like one of my favorite all-time lines from the show. From either the season 2 or season 3, Jack was trying to get in with a gang, and it was they were worried about a snitch, and so basically he wanted to prove to them that he'd killed the snitch. And so the line I love is, "I'll need a hacksaw," because he basically delivers in a bag. Here's this guy's head to prove that he in fact killed him.
I know you forgot to mention that when we covered 24 earlier. So I'm glad you finally got it in. But,
right.
The old head in the bag. But yeah, so here's my take. Great, just great. It's great 2 hours.
The reason the positive thing that I liked about it is that it leaves things open. What the president says to him is that okay, Jack, I'm so sorry if I had only listened to you, things wouldn't have turned out the way they were. But I'm going to have to own up to what I've said, what I've done. And Jack has left a killing field of people who richly deserved, who rightfully
Russians
deserved.
are going to be coming after him.
Right. And basically, she said, my advice is to get out of the country. So what that sets up is he's become The Fugitive, which, by the way, was one of the. If you had to rank the top 10 shows ever, I think The Fugitive. He's Richard Kimball, who's constantly escaping. Jack's in this position, although he's instead of finding the one-armed man, he's going to shoot the president of Russia.
I might have considered that a non sequitur, except I did hear recently when they were talking about some of the great finales of all time, like series finales. Somebody did mention The Fugitive as one of those. So I think 24 is in that tradition of. Well, the thing about 24 though is you're not going to remember this as like a great finale where some special stunt was done. What they did was what they always do on 24. In fact, you could have easily, like we've been talking about before, we could have seen this come back for another season.
Which we've
seen the only thing I thought I wish they could have done a little bit differently, maybe, is that we've seen this ending before where basically they tell Jack, you better get lost or whatever, the authorities are going to be coming after you, blah, blah, blah.
And the Russians are.
I guess, the bigger threat here is that now this time he's not just wanted by the American authorities, but also by the Russians, which presumably means almost anywhere he goes, it's going to be a tough.
I'll tell you
slog.
one place that he can go and then he'll probably get some cover is the IRK.
Yeah.
Which is because the Muslim leader who was killed, and it turned out to be a really good guy because he sacrificed himself to not let a nuclear bomb go off in New York City, and he didn't want that on his blood. And then his wife steps in and is a real trooper as well. I think. And she was just outraged because of what the Russians had done. So, you can't blame them, and you can't say that they're just, they're anti-terrorists and all Muslims are bad. They go out of their way. 2 of the real heroes are this married couple, the president and his wife, who becomes the president. So you really have to. They do that. Also, one thing I want to point out is. A lot of the reason that 24 is in the news because is the issue over torture. In fact, they go out of their way, especially this season, to prove that torture doesn't work because Jack was trying to get information from the assassins, somebody who was supposed to assassinate him and who did assassinate Annie. And in fact, he realized that torture wasn't working because when you're talking about hardened terrorists, it doesn't work. But he happens to get his SIM card. Yeah. He has to do a little surgery.
That's a case of torture working because he gets the SIM card out of his.
But it was after he did.
Yeah, I know. Dead. Yeah, but that's 2 things there. One, it's sort of torture's not working. Maybe I should check his cell phone. Maybe you should have done that first.
But the guy swallowed his cell phone.
Right, but I'm saying, we pointed out before that it's just a little bit a weird lapse that Jack would not check everything, like his cell phone and anything on the guy first before he begins the interrogation.
You can explain it by Jack being
he's so enraged.
He's off the reservation, as they suggested several times.
Right.
During
the other thing is that you said something about how that Jack, he did a lot of good things for the IRK, the what was it, Islamic Republican something Kazakhstan, I don't know what so maybe, yeah, he should call up Dalia Hassan and say, hey, can I sleep on your couch for a while? I'm kind
That
of
might
in
be
a
one of the
jail.
only places where he's going to be safe.
I'll
But
be out by the end of summer.
But you know
I
what?
promise.
She's, you know, when she finds out what, she already knew that he was in charge of the operation to protect her and her
Oh, yeah.
husband,
Well, yeah.
and he was trying to protect her. So, I mean, I imagine that she's, that's the one
I guess,
country in
yeah.
the world where he's going to be welcome.
Well, that's a good point, though, that it makes me think now, yeah, the whole presidential pardon thing never would have worked anyway, because the thinking is that even if we pardon him, the American
Russians
government,
have an X on
Russians
his
are going to
back.
still come after him. Although you could be in witness protection at that point, too, I guess.
Well, or he can, but as much as he's done for the country and all
Right,
the
that's
people
what
that he
I'm
killed, she should have pardoned him.
Right.
But it leaves, it makes it so we can have a movie and maybe another.
Oh, and yeah, but the other thing I forgot about is that if you pardon Jack Bauer for killing all those Russians, then that could start a war too. So you have to treat him as
Not if you reveal what's on that tape, not the evidence. I mean, if you have evidence of a former president of the United States
You're right.
and Sakharov, the original USSR.
Say this guy's an American hero.
Now, one thing that did bug me about what they did, and I mean, why didn't they figure this out? You should always have backups to all this stuff. Now, they did have a backup to that one, but the guy that had the backup destroyed it because he was afraid that he was going to be invaded by Freddie Prinz. So they explain it, but you know, you should have had several backups and mailed around the country is what.
Well,
so
that's what I
Coley's
don't
plan
get.
was really the best plan, is to send it everywhere, and she almost did it.
That's what I'd like to talk to somebody like Alan or somebody over here who's a techie or whatever, who can explain to me. Once you get something these days, a digital recording of something, I find it hard to believe that you couldn't instantly, just send it out to a bunch of places. They did have a line in there, something about how the NSA is already setting up firewalls. And I think what they meant is around even newspapers and stuff. They were really trying to.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if there was anybody who could get it out, it was Coley, because Coley was like a guru with.
Right. I mean, you don't send it. You send it to everybody. You send it to YouTube. I don't get how they could shut down, or seal off and like you said, make a bunch of copies of it, send it to your email. I mean, it seems to me like the whole idea anymore of having something on some special disc or card doesn't mean anything in the internet age, where it can instantly be downloaded to the internet, spread everywhere, viral, right?
Now the thing is, both of those, both that disc that the reporter had and what Jack taped are both still intact, so it's both evidence. So that could come out. So that could undermine what the Russians were doing. They really went out of their way. I'm trying to think of the one Russian.
Well, I know
they must have something for the Russians, because they're very sympathetic to some of the Arab world, but. And of course, they're the bad guys, but they're also the good guys. Of course, there are plenty of Americans,
there's plenty
former
of fears.
Americans. There's plenty of bad. But I can't think of too many Russians that are good guys.
In 24?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they certainly have played more the Islamic as overall bad guys. Then they feel a need to qualify it. I think they've only used the Russians maybe in 2 different seasons. With Russians, you don't feel as politically sensitive. It's not as politically sensitive. And there's lots of fears that the Russians are going to be supporting somebody's. Anyway, that's I didn't have a problem with that. It's just I don't know enough about the Subarov. I don't remember. I mean, Subarov, it seemed like he was a decent guy, and then this season.
Yeah, because
President Taylor it's sort of like the power corrupts idea.
Right.
Or power tends to corrupt is the actual quote, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. But I think that was the most intriguing thing, was that you saw they kind of paid off those characters from a previous season of Charles Logan. He was just as evil as ever. Subarov had become obviously a lot more corrupt.
Although if you remember from the past, very positive spin, because Logan's wife had made become friends, and she was on the line to protect them, and he was a good guy before.
He was, and we don't know what made his trip. But again, maybe just being president. corrupts you after a while. But I think President Taylor was the interesting example of they always seem to go, okay, you've got a really good guy like Dennis Haysbert, or you've got a really evil guy like Logan. And she was the one who was, good beyond what most people would expect people to be, having her own daughter brought up on charges for her role in some kind of assassination. So good thing, but yeah, slowly descending. I thought that was an interesting thing to show
but
how
even Dennis Haysbert was. I mean, that was. I remember my son when he began to watch it said, "Why can't we have a president like that?"
Yeah.
And first black president. But I mean, he's the guy in Allstate, by the way, the Allstate commercials. But he was just anything you would want as a president. Very principled,
right,
tough-nosed. But some events really made it so he couldn't even be president. Of course, they got rid of him as well. But
I'm saying he pretty much stayed the noble, good president, despite maybe a couple ethical challenges here and there. But so it was really kind of shocking. I mean, I really got to say, Charles, the guy who plays Charles Logan, I can't remember the dude's name, but there's a couple of people. I think it's Roger somebody. A couple of people if I were doing the Emmy ballots, I would say, yeah, the guy who plays Charles Logan, best supporting whatever, male actor. Kiefer, of course, for best male. He's just so awesome. And then Chloe.
Don't forget Chloe.
I gotta say, Mary Lynn Rice Cobb, and I'm just gonna admit it here, when she was crying at the end, I was crying because she just got me. And I don't know how actors do that to make it look like they are really bawling their eyes out, but she did it. And she didn't give any kind of sentimental, I love you, Jack. She just said good luck to him, whatever. This show is like so hard-nosed that,
she is an emotion. I mean, she has problems with emotions anyway.
But you think this final goodbye to your friend, most shows, almost any other show would have had them say in a kind of non-romantic way, I love you kind of thing. The best they could do is, her saying good luck and him doing one of his dramatic exhales of breath. That's one thing Kiefer's good at. He's like,
I love the speech at the end when she says, look, you've had my back all these years, and I wouldn't have guessed when I first came in. Yeah, to her. And I think that was proper tribute because she did, and she was just brilliant, and she went on a limb for him. Matter of fact, that's what drew him in. And he wanted to just exit the whole thing, but her asking him for help said, look, I've gone out on a limb for you. But she always had his back. Yeah. And you're right. And always could see things and see around things that most other people couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, one other character who nobody really cares about. My only concern for him earlier in the season was that I dearly hoped that somebody would shoot him in the face. Milo.
I liked him.
I know. He turned out to be a good guy in the end. They kind of, dropped the whole, he was doing this like sexual harassment like every single episode. In like the first 6 or 8 episodes, he's always eyeing this Dana Walsh. And so, I mean, yeah, he just kind of.
Dana Walsh, I had suspicions of her in the first. She was kind of just creepy. She just was not quite.
She was hot though. You had her eyes only for Annie, right?
What can I say?
Well, I got to say, I mean, whatever you want to say about that character, a lot of people thought it was a joke to do that whole my ex-boyfriend's out to get me thing. I think she fulfilled a good part of the show in showing Jack take that step over into the abyss once he cold-bloodedly executes a woman. I mean, I know she was a horrible terrorist, and maybe it's sexist to say it's more wrong to assassinate her than the Russians.
Nah, she was just as bad as any. I mean, she showed no compunction she knocked off 5 or 6. She left a trail.
She was a cold-blooded killer. I'm just saying.
She was a psychopath.
My own personal thing, and if it's sexist, okay, is that if you're a guy, my thinking is that it somehow just says something about you and your kind of viciousness that you see it as just as casual a thing to execute a woman who's basically surrendered to you. You told her to put your hands up, she did. In fact, it's just as cold-blooded to do it to a guy too. But then that image they gave us of her just kind of sprawled out there. To me,
if you give her an inch, she's gonna.
I know.
She's gonna put a bullet through your brain no matter what. So I mean, it's.
But even the way she didn't kill Freddie Prinze.
Right.
She did not. Right. She had some compassion.
Okay.
But Jack didn't know that for sure. So I mean, I just think, man, that's because I don't know. I remember reading this novel, was it Cold 6000? No, it was American Tabloid by James Ellroy. Great novel. And actually, I think it was the follow-up, The Cold 6000, yeah. He's got this trilogy. And in the second book, this character, he's like a mobster, bagman kind of thing, and he does kill people, whatever. But his rule is always he doesn't kill like women and children kind of thing. And at one point, there's a woman that needs to be silenced in
If there's a woman coming after me with a whatever
I
they
know,
shoot.
I know,
And
you're right.
She cold-bloodedly just boom, boom, boom. She was good at it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, whatever. Yeah, you're right. It's probably just my goofy thing. I just, the way she did, maybe it was the actress that sold me on it, Katie Sackhoff, I think. Just that look in her eyes and everything. That it's like,
Well, she played it.
You see a vulnerable person here, and maybe it's her trying to scam Jack or whatever, but I just thought that whole thing.
Maybe she's trying to scam. She scammed everybody.
Well, she's obviously in fear of her life. But it's just sort of like, to me, I could see that, well, we're going to get into like the death penalty here or something, but never mind. I just thought for Jack that was a pretty vicious thing when all you have to do is hit her over the head and the authorities come get her 5 minutes later, and then they've actually got somebody they can, interrogate.
But you never know. She could get best done away with. It's like taking
You'll
out the trash.
justify Jack for anything. What about putting on a Jason Voorhees mask and shooting up that tunnel? Was that a good idea? He probably
Go with it.
He probably terrorized some kid on the way to school or something. He's gonna have nightmares for the rest of his life.
Well, maybe he was
shot some cop in the leg. He's gonna be limping forever, man. Come on.
He probably shot him. Jack can shoot his people.
He can shoot some so precisely that the guy will be healed.
Well,
by
he always
the next
seems
day.
to.
I love it how he can even direct somebody to shoot him, Chloe. And he could somehow, did he point the gun in the exact right place so that it would go through?
Right.
Yeah, that's what he did. All right, folks. Well, we both agree it was a great finale. And it was.
I'm looking forward to the movie. I hope there's a movie.
Come on, bring that movie.
It looks like it will be.
Don't just talk about it, do it. And you know why there will be a movie? Because this is one of those shows where if they needed to, they could jettison everybody but Jack, and they'd still have a movie.
And Chloe.
They could, but I mean, they should have Chloe in it. They don't need her though to make the movie, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And a lot of reasons these movies don't get made is because they can't sync up people's schedules. The people go off and do other things. So this is all whether or not Kiefer can do it or not. And then
he seems to be into it.
Oh,
unlike David Duchovny, who had nothing to want. He didn't want to have anything to do with the X-Files near the end.
Well, he came back for two movies.
Yeah, he did.
Well, he came back for one movie after that. Yeah, so, and we wish he wouldn't have at that point, right? He made a crap movie.
That's true.
Oh, well, folks, stick around. We got more show for you, and we'll be right back.
Bong, bong. No, wait a minute. How does 24 go out?
Zero.
Right.
Okay, see you, folks. Welcome back, folks.
We're back.
Well, we got another another story, sort of like Lost.
Mm-hmm. It's on an island.
Filmed in Hawaii, and it's got, once again, a good brother and an evil brother, and the good brother's fair-haired and the evil brother's dark-haired. And they both have a kind of a woman who tries to act like their mother, but she's not really their mother. So
She doesn't speak very good English.
yeah, and she's kind of into the whole hoodoo or with some kind of old weird shark religion or something like that.
She doesn't like to use prepositions.
It seems like they do that at certain times. Like sometimes they talk sort of normal, and then it's suddenly no go, no leave the island. So yeah, and just like on Lost, there's the others which in this case are women. It's sort of like a Ken Dow and, I don't know, Ken's evil brother or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Those guys totally have that weird kind of sculpted, whatever, surfer dude look.
Yeah.
And they're instantly humiliated by having to wear shorts made from women's dresses. Like, this is a messed up movie because the guys are in a more of a state of undress than the women are. And the women are wearing big, long dresses to go swimming around in, like with flower prints or something. So. It's a weird little movie, and frankly, we do not have much to say in the way of commentary, so we're not going to do the old picture-in-picture thing this time. But
we won't interrupt your
yeah, we don't
pleasure.
want to spoil any of it for you. But anyway, it's called The She-Gods of Shark Reef, and it's a movie. It's something to watch.
It does exist, so we can say that.
It's about slightly better than the Lost endings. It's something. All right, folks, here it is, The She-Gods of Shark Reef.
Under cover of darkness, I made my way to the far side of the island, where my brother had a small trading schooner anchored. We slipped away with the morning tide and made for the island of Rarotu in the Sulu archipelago, where I had friends to hide me. But 300 miles short of our destination, a hurricane swept at us from out of the China Sea, and short-handed, we foundered on a reef.
The reef. We didn't see the reef. Our radio and our compass went out last night in the storm. We saw your island and we made for it. And then we hit the coral.
It is a time the gods are angry. We had had great winds for a month. You were foolish to put out in so small a boat. Much was destroyed here last night, too.
Jim. There was another man here. He's dead? Where are we?
You're on the island of Manakai. It is property of the island company. Visitors are not allowed on this island.
We don't want to be here any more than you want us here. Are there any boats that touch this island? How soon can we get away from here?
The company launch will be here in 10 days. They will take you away.
10 days? But we can't wait that long.
You will not mind. Time passes quickly in Vanakai. This is the guest house. It's yours while you are here. There is no need to pay. The house is empty and everything here belongs to the company. You must rest. We have such cases with our divers. It is not dangerous unless you do it too often.
Or stay under too long.
There is that, of course. You will need dry clothes.
On our boat we have...
And later we will salvage what we can from the boat. Bring lavas for these men. Your names? I will need them for my report to the company. What shall we call you?
Johnson. Christy Johnson. And this is my brother Lee.
And your business?
Collecting specimens for museums.
You are a scientific expedition? We have had several here before.
Just freelance. I collect marine life, fish, and what have you, and I send it back. They pay me enough to keep me going. What's this?
This will replace your trousers, sir. This is an island of women. We have nothing else. Go back to your work.
Wait, the girl that pulled us up.
There is no need to pay on Vanakai. Everything is given the girls by the company.
Company? What company?
The Island Company. A world-famous concern.
Fish? Canaries?
Pearl.
What is that she's doing? Looks like a semaphore. Semaphore? She's sending a message? About us? Probably. The police will know I'm here. We're too far from port. Anyhow, they can't know so soon. Maybe not, but they will in 10 days. We can't wait that long. By then, every island in the group will have my description. Nobody will look for you here. Look, there's a warrant out for me. A Navy ship could come through here any time. What can we do without a boat? The storm fixed us. Gotta find one. Must be some kind of boat around this island. I've got to keep going. Get to Raritu. Once I'm there, Matapa will hide me. I thought you were going to stay away from him. That's how you got into this mess. How I got into it doesn't matter. I'm not going to let them take me back. If only you hadn't killed the guy. There wasn't any other way. I told you that. No, there wouldn't be with you. Don't give me any of your two-bit lectures. You said you were going to help me get to Raritu. If you want to call it off, I'll make it by myself.
Young man feeling better now?
You just got a knock on the head when we hit the reef. You, sending a message?
To Big Island.
About us?
I send message every day. Today I tell about you. They say many ships wreck in big storms.
And they're coming to pick us up.
In 10 days. You wait.
The bigger boats, they don't come in here, do they?
No, Reef too dangerous. Many people die. You very lucky.
I guess we were at that. I thought I saw something just inside the reef.
That is home of Shark God Tangaroa. That place taboo. Shark God angry, long time now. Brings many bad storms, much bad fortune.
Well, he certainly didn't bring us any luck. Is there anything we can do to get him in a better humor?
Tangaroa, hungry.
me, boy. We got to. The tide's so strong that we'll have the whole thing out to sea by morning. Come on, we're going back. $3,000. And what have I got to show for it? Blame me, don't you? If it hadn't been for me, this wouldn't have happened. I don't blame anybody. It's just bad luck, that's all. But it's about time we had a little good luck for a change. Fortune helps those that help themselves. Come on.
You have good fortune, sir.
This is all we got. $20 worth at the outside.
You've had boat a long time now.
About 8 months. Took every cent I could raise. Now it wouldn't even make good firewood.
Perhaps it is the hand of fate. Who knows true destiny? Life-twisting reef from which is no escape.
Which brings up an interesting point. Does this twisting reef we're in now include board as well as room?
Board.
Food.
You go there when you are hungry. The women will help you.
What's all this?
Here oysters are opened. Pearls taken, sorted, classified, stored.
Stored.
Until ship comes for them in 10 days from now.
Is this the same ship that takes us away?
It is so. You understand? These places you are not permitted to go. Company rule. Feed these men.
Well, the girl doesn't seem too fond of us, does she?
Well, she's doing pretty well. After all, we weren't exactly invited.
Speak to her. Make friends. What? You heard me. She knows this place. She can help us. Go on.
Hello. What's your name? My name is Chris. What's yours?
Mahia.
Mahia. That's a pretty name. You eat now? With us?
Yes. Come, I show. Friend too?
Mahia, this is my brother Lee.
Lee. Come, we eat.
Hey, looks like good chow. What's wrong?
Hey.
Great.
It's very easy. Tell stories. Boat. Come to Reef. Boat. Hit. Reef.
big wave. Take Chris to bottom of sea.
Chris. Show your hula.
Come, I show.
Make him dance, Mahia. What's the matter? What is it?
Bad devil.
What happens now? Aren't you going? Going where? To find your little girl, your little dancing partner. Those women think we're taboo. You saw the look on their faces last night. You've never been taboo to a woman in your life, and you know it. They're all hepped up on this superstition thing. And that pua. Look, I told you. If we want to get away from here, we've got to find somebody that knows the ropes. If we find a boat, we've got to have supplies. We'll need a friend. This is your chance. I saw a shark come through the reef this morning. Great. Hey, if those babies can come in, that means we can get out. And if we don't make it, we end up like Jim. We'll make it. Hey, you better watch out. You'll get as jumpy as those women down there. Now, cheer up. Life's just beginning. There's nothing to worry about. I'll scout around, see if I can rustle up anything. You try the girl. You've sure got your philosophy.
looking for you.
Mahia here.
Well, why aren't you with the others in the bay?
Who I say Mahia work here.
Because of last night? What happened? What did it mean?
Who I say shark got hungry. When people die on reef, shark got eat. Mahia save your life. Make gods more angry. Last night, when flowers break, it's very bad. Who I say big taboo on you. She say no see you. She send me here.
What's Pua got to do with this?
Sita Hua, sacred. Know all about God.
You want me to go away? And what are you afraid of? Pua?
Of God. Taboo. Maybe Chris died.
Listen, if the gods wanted me to die, they wouldn't have had you out there with a knife to cut me free, would they? Then what are we worrying about? As for Pua, she doesn't realize. How old are you?
18.
Why aren't there any men here on the island? You know nothing about us, do you?
Chris good. Mahia knows that. Don't.
Found it.
Found what?
A boat. An outrigger. It's around the point. Come on, I'll show you. There. We can make any place we want to in this.
We'll easily make Railroad 2.
The mast is broken. We'll have to find a new one. Otherwise, she's in tip-top shape. Chris, I've got to get going. Get away from this island. You coming with me or not? Watch it, it's the old woman.
I want you should leave girl alone.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. I saw you. You have no business here. In 1 week, you go away. Till boat comes, you leave girl alone.
What is all this?
You bring trouble, both of you. So I put to curse us. And you bring back much trouble.
Well, you can't believe that.
Mahia brings back no pearls. All know this. All know where Mahia was today. Now some think she too bring bad luck.
Mahia?
Mahia's life here on this island. Your life some other places. There is no other place for Mahia. Leave girl alone.
But I
warn you now. After this, trouble.
Well, if you mind, are you coming or not? I'm ready.
God of the island, Lord of our sea, Give us a sign. God of the old people who were here before us, God of the land sunk beneath the sea, visit not your anger upon us. Tangaroa, take our sin away from us. Deliver us from your anger. We are humble, Tangaroa. Give us a sign. I too are not satisfied. Tomorrow, we make the ceremony. Tomorrow morning, we make the purification.
What's going on here? What was all that?
I too angry. We have sinned.
I too?
Spirits of the dead.
Dead? There are no dead here.
There are many. Tangaroa has many I too. Other man with you, he there now. He I too. When Tangaroa hungry, I too call to us. We go tomorrow.
Go where?
To him. We bring gift. We swim out.
I thought you didn't go there. You said the water was dangerous. And the sharks.
The shark is God.
But you could be killed.
God, hungry.
Why, that's insane. You can't go.
No, Chris. Mahia bad. Mahia bring bad luck to everybody. Mahia makes God's angry. Mahia, go!
do not take her. She belongs to Kangaroo.
Let me by.
I warn you, Kangaroo, not forgive.
Let me by. Bring me water and dry clothes. Do you understand?
No, tabo.
Is she hurt? I don't think so. Get me something to clean her with and some water for her to drink. All right.
Chris.
Rest now.
You'll sleep? Mahia, will you go away with me?
Go?
Away from the island, away from Benakai.
Oh, then oh, let Mahia go. When boat come, Chris leave. Mahia stay.
If you could go, would you?
Mahia go with Chris anywhere. Chris leave?
I'll be back in a little while. Hurry up, will you? We'll never get the outrigger made at this rate. I'm ready. Lee, how soon can we be ready to leave?
Leave here? If we get the mast replaced tonight, anytime.
Anytime? Good. Come on.
Trouble. No, come back now, tonight. Listen to me. The Americans are bad. The police are coming for them in the morning. There will be trouble. You cannot stay here. You must come with me now.
No, I don't believe
If you don't come, I'll take you.
I will tell the others. She say police come in morning. Go.
Let's get out of here.
No, no. You don't take me. No. No, no. No. Maria. No. No, no. No. No, hurt fool. No.
She won't.
No. Not do that. No. No.
You know what this means? We're going to have to leave tonight. Right here, you know where they keep food supplies? Can you show us?
Chris leave tonight?
We'll have to wait for dawn. We can't make that reef in the dark.
No. Chris leave Mahia?
Of course not. You're not taking the girl. I am. We can't do that. Aren't we in enough trouble already? What do you want me to do? Leave her here? You know the others think she's brought some sort of a taboo on them after saving our lives? And after today, that shark. I think it's some kind of a god that's giving them trouble. And what kind of a time do you imagine our friend here is going to give her? Well, if the boat's small enough, it's going to be a hard journey. She's sick. She'll go, won't you, Mahia?
Mahia go with Chris.
It's always the same, isn't it, Chris? You got to louse things up because of some dame. It isn't that way. She's just a kid. And what are you going to do with her when we make land? We haven't got any money. Or is that your idea? She's an ace in the hole. You'll be sorry for that, Chris. We'd better get some supplies. Is there a map or anything on the island? Show us where to go?
Map in office. Show island.
All right, you get the food and water. I'll get the map. You want me to go with you? No, there's not enough time. It's nearly dawn now. You load the boat. I'll take whatever's useful from the office. What about her? If we leave her, she'll warn the others. There's only one thing to do.
No hurt for.
We'll have to take her with us. It's the only thing we can do. All right. We'll put her in the boat, too. Should have left her on the island. I told you that. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought we'd get away without any trouble.
Untie poor Chris.
Might as well.
They tried to steal the pearls. I told you they were bad men.
What?
Didn't you hear them shouting?
No, I was too frightened.
Ask him.
What is it?
She say you try to take pearls. She hear them call after you.
Take pearls? You're out of your mind. I haven't any pearls. This is all I took. Give me the map. Shortest route to River 2 is past the Big Island. They'll be looking for us. We'll have to find someplace and wait. And where do you suggest waiting? We can't go ahead, and we sure can't go back. There's only one place left. The reef. We can't spend all day in that rough water. Part of the reef rises above the water. We'll land there and wait.
They will kill us. You cannot land boat on those rocks.
We've got to. It's our only chance. We'll have to try it. That'll be the end of it. Good. Another 3 or 4 hours before we can leave here. Easy. Where you going? Out the reef. Maybe I can see a police launch from there. Might as well know where they are. Want me to go with you? Leave the old woman behind? No thanks. You be careful. I'm always careful. Don't worry about me. Just keep your eye on our friend there. I'll be back. What's the matter? Are you afraid? What is it?
Why you run from police? Why you afraid of them?
It's a long story.
Chris do something bad?
Let's leave. He got into a scrape.
Grace?
He was caught smuggling guns. He hit a man and the man died.
But you afraid too.
He came to me to help him. That was my boat that was wrecked. He has some friends in River 2 that'll help him. The police will never find him there.
Chris, Lee your brother, but he not like you.
I've got to help him.
Warn the others.
Chance. What's this? Where did you get these? Where do you think I got them? You went back there. Why not? We're broke. What do we got to live on? Those we won't have to worry for a long, long time.
Nobody see you? Nobody try stop you?
Nobody? Nobody? What are you trying to do, cross-examine me?
But there's always somebody guarding storehouse. You did not see her?
All right, I saw her. And she didn't try to stop you. You won't be stopping anybody for a long time. It always ends up like this, doesn't it, Lee? What was I supposed to do? Surrender to some old woman? Let's take those pearls and get out of here. We can't go on running forever, Lee. I can't.
tide is high, the wind is strong. We'll leave evil behind us.
And so Lee or Chris or whoever it was, I can't remember, is killed by the smoke monster, and the mysteries of the island are revealed at last. I gotta say, not my favorite movie, but
no,
could have been a little cheesier, but I don't even know. It's like, I don't even know how that gets to be a movie, really, frankly.
It's probably what the Lost creators saw and then based Lost on that.
It could be. I mean, it's weird to think somebody turned in a script for that. You know, I mean, maybe there was an idea at the beginning. There's some action moments of the guy, you know, stabbing the one dude or whatever. And you think, oh, this could be something. But I mean, they never even get into like. So the guy's on the run, and his brother decides to just go with him or whatever. I mean, if your brother kills somebody, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, let's go on a road trip.
We're family. You got to stick together.
Oh, well, it was something to pass the time.
It was, you know, on the lazy holiday weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah.
And we'll be seeing you over the summer.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back for more pop culture-y goodness.
Don't go outside or exercise. Stay indoors, watch TV all summer.
Oh,
don't get any sun.
Don't forget to tell them about the channel change. I know you guys are.
Oh yeah, well that is true. We're JCTV will be on 21 for another few weeks, and then we're going to $9.89 if you have the digital box, or if you just have the cable-ready TV with cable going straight into your flat screen, it is $118.003. So I know that's very easy to remember.
I just wonder, you don't have any idea, do you, of like, is that channel going to be near anything that somebody might be watching, or is it? Like...
I don't know for sure. I'm guessing they're going to put the educational access channels all together, but I'm not sure though.
Maybe like pair it up with C-SPAN or something like that.
Or the the local. I think there's local schools that have educational access stations too on cable.
There are people like me who will literally, even if they have like 500 channels, will go all through all 500 and see what's going on. Sometimes in one, like every time they turn on the TV, let's see what's on. I want to watch that, but let's see what else is on.
Yeah. So $9.89 if you got the box. No box, $118.003, and of course you have to have charter. So, which you do have if you're seeing us now on TV. You have it.
You have it.
So.
All right, folks. Well, until next time. Keep poppin', Colonel.